guys, and welcome to Books and My Universe. Today, the video that you will be watching made by me is my favorite Wattpad stories / books. Now, you guys probably don't know this, but I have a Wattpad account, which I will link down below, and I wanted to tell you guys about some of my favorite stories, books that I have read during my time on Wattpad. So let's get started. So I'm going to be putting these into two categories. There are other stories, but these are just my favorites. And the first one is just regular teen fiction. The first one is called In 27 Days, and it is by Honor in the Rain, and it is about a girl who, while she's at school, a boy ends up committing suicide, and they're in New York, and she goes to the cathedral for his memorial, I guess, and there aren't very many people who show up. It's just like his mother and his grandmother and his sisters. And she feels like really bad, and she feels like she could have done something to prevent it, even though it's a guy who doesn't know at all. He just went to her school. And when she leaves the cathedral, Death actually comes and confronts her and says, I'm going to turn back time to 27 days before today, and you have 27 days to prevent him from killing himself. So it's basically about her trying to get close to this guy and giving him like reasons to not kill himself without making it obvious that she's trying to prevent his suicide. And it's actually really interesting. And this leads up to the next story, which is the sequel to In 27 Days, and it is called Face Your Fears, which is also by Honor in the Rain. So I won't delve into what Face Your Fears is about, because that would spoil things for In 27 Days. So read In 27 Days, because I really enjoyed it, and I think you would too. The next story is My Wattpad Love. I know it sounds really cheesy and stuff, but it's about a girl who's on Wattpad and she writes stories and stuff. And then there's another guy, and he starts commenting on her stories about how cheesy they are and about how he could have done so much better. And he like writes poems and stuff like that, I believe. It's been a while since I've read all of these stories, so it's based off of my memory and me kind of looking at the summaries. And then they kind of end up having conversations and stuff, and the girl ends up falling for the guy, and she's trying to meet him and stuff, but then in the meanwhile, he also has like some secrets and things like that. So it's about that, and that one also has a sequel, and it's called Growing Up, which I also will not spoil for you. When you're an atom, when you're an atom, the next one is The Bad Boys Girl, and it is by JessGirl93, and this story is about a girl who begins her senior year and is trying to get her childhood love to love her back, but then the guy who she likes, his brother, comes along, and he's like really hot, but he's like the bad boy, and he basically like challenges her, and they have like conflict and stuff, but we all know how things like that end. But I just thought it was a really interesting story. Turns her world upside down. And the last one in this category is The Roommate Rulebook by Lilo Horse. And it is about a girl who is finishing off her final year in college, but she ends up leaving her house and she has to live with her cousin and his roommate. And she has like a bunch of rules for that roommate. And he challenges her, and he's like, what if I don't follow these rules and stuff? And it's about them kind of like always bickering and arguing about stuff, and then he like rides motorcycles and he's trying to like win this competition thing. But then, you know, like everyone has a dark side, everyone has their own like secrets that they're trying to keep, and then things happen. You know what kind of things happen. So the next category, which is the second and last, is called The Werewolf Fiction Stories. I know, like 2 summers ago I got really obsessed with werewolf stories on Wattpad, and I was like, oh, werewolf! So the first one is called Masked She-Wolf, and that is by Sahar Gayar. I'm sorry if I butchered that. And it's about a society where there are like regular people everywhere and stuff, and with the werewolves who are intertwined with the human society, there can only be male wolves, but if you can tell by the title, there's a girl who was born a wolf. Only her family knows that, and she tries to hide it from other people, so she basically goes out dressed as a guy. She like wraps like a cloth like around her chest area to make her seem flat-chested, and she basically acts like a guy so that people won't know that she's a girl and sense the fact that she's a werewolf. And then another pack moves into town, and like there are like issues with them trying to hide her being a girl because they would want like werewolf girls and werewolf guys to come together and make powerful babies and become powerful pack, so they're trying to cover that. The next one is called Werewolf Committee by Courageous Reader, and it is about a girl who gets chosen by scholarship to go to the werewolf committee where only like rich wolves get to go. And even though she doesn't know it, she has all of the characteristics and stuff that the werewolf committee is looking for, and she ends up becoming the mate of the alpha there. And conflict, because there always needs to be conflict. The next story is The Boys Across the Street by Lalum_. And it's about a girl who ends up moving to a new town and new school and ends up having a new life, but then she discovers that she's a werewolf, and then she learns that because she's a werewolf, bad things are going to happen. Bam. Cliffhanger. Read it. Okay, last one. Yeah. The last one is called I'm Not Yours, Alpha, and it is by Heron Light Frey. And it is about a girl whose family's house burns down, so one of their family friends, they're like rich and stuff, they take them into their house, and they're living with this family, and there's like a boy who has like a secret and stuff, and clearly they're werewolves, but he's all secretive and stuff, and she's like trying to find out what's going on with this mysterious guy who she lives under a roof with. So yeah, it's about that. I'm sorry for these kind of bad, vague descriptions, but if you're really interested, check them out. I will put them into my reading list for my Wattpad, which will be down below, and obviously these aren't the only stories that I've read. If you want to check out other ones, again, please check out my Wattpad, and they will be there. I also have like other teen fiction stories, and I also have some fan fiction, but if you're interested, go ahead. So that is going to be all for this video today. I really hope you enjoyed it and that you go and check out these Wattpad stories if you're looking for something new to read. Just throwing that out there into the world. So thank you again so much for watching. I will see you next Wednesday with a new video. Please comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you next week with another video. Goodbye, and keep reading.